happiest of holidays, and welcome to the Intrazone Roadmap Pitstop December 2024 edition. This is a bonus monthly end-of-year show that answers that burning question in your mind. What's rolling out now for SharePoint and related technology in Microsoft 365? I'm Mark Cashman, Senior Product Manager at Microsoft, here to help set the ongoing record straight. We nudge this particular episode right into the new year to fully finalize and realize 2024 and wholly welcome 2025. So first, Happy New Year! Fanfare! And hello, 2025. For this episode, we'll cover what SharePointy things landed in production at the tail end of 2024, a few related items, and the always fun teasers looking into next month, aka next year. And to have a little year-end, year-beginning informative fun, we've added a few best-of style sections scattered about this episode. I'll look at the top 5 features of 2024, a quick list of apps we said goodbye to or are soon to say goodbye to, and a few 2025 predictions. I also grabbed a little AI-focused audio segment from Jeff Teper during his ESPC 24 opening keynote that we'll share towards the end of the episode. I hope everyone has been having some nice time off with friends and family, not having a care in the world, and in fact, this podcast is your carefree, 30-minute, snow-capped, rooftop pit stop to stay ahead of the ever-curving Microsoft 365 roadmap. Let us kick back and jingle our way through all the tech that rolled out in December 2024. At the top, we are going to start with employee engagement so that you can have all those tools to communicate far and wide, and in this case, with our first item, to do things at scale efficiently. The first item, Microsoft Syntex Pay-as-you-go, a new service, is offering now a simple document processing pre-built model. This new pre-built model uses optical character recognition, OCR, and AI to detect the primary language of the file, key value pairs, tables, selection marks, and barcodes. As with other models, it can be configured to extract information and populate specific library columns. This new model appears alongside the other pre-built models like contracts, receipts, and invoices available via the same service. If the pre-built service is on, this new model will also appear in the menu as a new option. In addition to extracting detected elements, this model can also detect the primary language of the file. This information can be extracted to a detected language column when the model is applied to a library, which can then be used for other content processing like document translation. A reminder, Microsoft Syntex services are billed on a pay-as-you-go basis. These services use an Azure subscription for billing and track usage and costs with a Syntex meter. There's a lot more you can learn about the broader services, the pay-as-you-go modeling, and of course how to configure and get it all set up so that you can process documents at scale. Next up, let's highlight the continued growth of integration between SharePoint and the Power Platform. Dare I assert as preamble that SharePoint continues to be one of the biggest data sources for Power Apps and Power Automate as people leverage, extend, and enhance their intranet investments. Why, yes, I do dare say, and did dare said, and dare said backed by fact. Yes, SharePoint plus Power Platform, they go great together. Now, with all that said, let's take a look at the latest kinship between the two via Microsoft Viva Connections. That is the Power Apps card, building off the broader adaptive card framework. The Power Apps card for Viva Connections allows you to bring your Power cards and applications onto the Viva Connections dashboard for quick access. The Viva Connections dashboard provides fast and easy access to information and job-related tasks. Content on the dashboard can also be targeted to users in specific roles, markets, and job functions. With the Power Apps card, you design a lightweight card using the Power Apps account that you have to add simple dashboard tasks and build things like checking your sales requests, seeing daily sales numbers, submitting vacation requests, starting shipping requests, and more. Pulling a lot of information into your dashboard using the power and value of Power Apps and the simplicity of the card framework. You just design your Power Apps experience and you link it in. You literally take the link to the Power App and add it to your dashboard, getting the benefit of broader use and distribution through the Viva Connections dashboard for the whole of your organization. It's a really great combination. The value of cards in general means you can lay out your dashboard with all sorts of value, pulling in a lot of value and content. And with Power Apps, of course, you can enhance that experience and design it to your heart's content. Now, a big question. Why did the software license go to school? The answer, to get a degree in innovation. And speaking of innovation, let's dive into Software Licensing Evolved, the combining of multiple technologies within a single license, to be specific. This approach minimizes purchasing complexities and fosters greater creativity and collaboration as a result. Like the eCal of the past, the Microsoft 365 Copilot license is growing in a lot of good ways. And this month, the month we have some good news specific to your Microsoft 365 Copilot subscription. Microsoft Viva Pulse, the full experience, is now included in your Microsoft 365 Copilot license. This applies to Pulse on Windows and Mac desktop, on the web, and iOS and Android. People with a Pulse license or a Microsoft 365 Copilot license can create and send Pulse requests to people in their tenant. Viva Pulse enables team leads to send brief surveys using research-backed templates to get a snapshot of team sentiment and act on feedback. Additionally, Viva Pulse reporting enables analysis of those results and trends so leads can pinpoint what's working well and areas that might need a little bit more focus over time. The licensing applies to the creation and sending of a Pulse request. There's no license required when responding to a Pulse request, aka anyone can respond. So with Viva Pulse as a new component of the Microsoft 365 Copilot subscription, anyone with a Pulse can create a Pulse. It's the easiest way to check for the heartbeat of your team within Microsoft 365. Dare I say, I love this licensing update. Why, yes, I love do. Bum, 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 boom. All right, it is now time for a word from our sponsor. This episode of The Interzone is sponsored by SharePoint. It's time to talk about the big SharePoint event coming up in January 29th, 2025, which also includes a live AMA. The event is officially titled SharePoint From Concept to Creation to Impact, plus live AMA. This is a chance for you to discover how you can push the boundaries with SharePoint to create stunning sites, publish engaging news, manage workflows, collaborate seamlessly, and leverage agents to transform your intranet. Join in, you are guaranteed to boost your SharePoint IQ. We'll dive into simple authoring, the dynamics of compelling content, and showcase strategies to amplify and reach and impact your knowledge and communications throughout your organization. So save the date, Wednesday, January 29th, 2025, from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific. Go to aka.ms/SharePoint event. That's aka.ms/SharePoint event and register today. Tell your friends, tell your colleagues, get it all on your social feeds, get it out there, let people know that there's a big SharePoint event coming up at the end of January. We will see you there. And we want to thank SharePoint for their sponsorship of today's The Interzone. For a little retrospective fun, here are the top 5 SharePoint and related tech items that shipped in 2024 with a light bias selection and ordering by yours truly. At number 5, Copilot in OneDrive. Not only is Copilot great in a lot of applications, But imagine where you have your most active and sometimes the closest content to you that you can then use Copilot to query, to summarize, to get information, to create from. It's like having your own very small language model that is built right off of all of your work to your own privacy within OneDrive. That is number 5, Copilot in OneDrive. Number 4, we announced SharePoint Premium autofill columns. And this is one of those that across a number of different events, every time you show it, it gets claps. Imagine being able to pre-populate and populate metadata within the columns of your lists and libraries automatically, truly, based off of a query that then goes into the content, looks for what it is that you're looking to derive from the document, and then populates the content, the column with that. SharePoint Premium autofill columns are truly magic when you see them at work, especially across more than just a single document, a whole document library filled with metadata derived from your documents, but without having you to manually do it. Item number 3, Microsoft 365 backup. And not only just the service itself, but a lot of what our partners are doing in the space to build off of Microsoft 365 backup. It really is the backbone of being able to recover, and it really is great to see that this service at the tip of the spear of what you can do with backup and with our partners to take it even further. It's a great new service. It's got a great team behind it. And of course, there's a lot that you can back up within Microsoft 365, specifically across Exchange and SharePoint. At number 2, Microsoft lists the new Forms experience. This one got a lot of great traction, a lot of great use, a lot of great interest as far as what's even coming next to the Forms experience, to expand it even further with attachments and the ability to do cascading items. But it is a really great new Forms experience to be able to collect information like a professional without overexposing your entire list when you just want to collect new items from other people. That's number 2, Microsoft lists new Forms experience. At number 1, SharePoint agents. Now, this might not come as a surprise. It really did come in at the tail end of 2024, but it really is a huge, big addition to SharePoint and what you can do within your SharePoint sites to truly have them work for you. Not only can you do things like search through the site, but it really is to derive knowledge and isolate on specific pieces of content so that you can navigate people to get information without you always having to be there. In fact, you can carry a SharePoint agent and use it within a SharePoint site or within a Teams experience through chat, where you just @mention the agent, and that agent can then pull in the information based on other people asking it questions and basically deriving knowledge from the source of wherever you did it. Similar to the Copilot in OneDrive, where you can really leverage in getting the knowledge on your specific content. This is where you really hone in and say, it's this document library, or it's this entire site that I want to program this agent so that people can ask it certain things, and you program it with certain questions. It's a really great technology. It really is great to see it on the forefront of the agents all up effort across Microsoft 365. So at number 1, SharePoint agents. If you haven't used them, they're very easy, truly in a few clicks. But it definitely bubbled up as the number 1 feature, not only to be announced, but released into production into Microsoft 365. Now, we want to also provide a couple of bonuses that apply to everyone, because some of those might be very specific on how they resonate with you, those top 5. So 2 bonuses for everyone really quickly. SharePoint design ideas. Amazing, kind of brings the value of how you can switch up a PowerPoint really quickly. Now you can do that with SharePoint pages using design ideas. Bonus number 2 for everyone, Microsoft Teams, the new chat and channel experience. Truly a really nice way to organize and find all that's happening around you, especially when you navigate to where you've been mentioned or things that are specifically collected together. Great new chat and channel experience in Teams. All right, so there is the for everyone, but what about specifically for admins? Here are 2 bonuses that shipped in 2024 that were really great for admins. there was the SharePoint Brand Center. Now, it might be real specific to people managing the brand, but from an admin perspective, it's a really great way to adhere your brand across your SharePoint sites collective. Second one for admins, the SharePoint Advanced Management, also known as SAM, is now included within the Microsoft 365 Copilot subscription. So that subscription for Copilot is certainly growing, and it's also growing for how admins might look at and report on oversharing or to discover issues and problems when it comes to managing the advanced management content side of SharePoint. All right, now we've covered everyone, admins. That is never to forget the developers. Here are 2 bonuses for devs. The Microsoft Graph API for SharePoint Pages went general availability in 2024. Really that great access to what a developer might describe as the real canvas that we wanted to get access to, the SharePoint page. Well, now you have it through an API, and certainly the team is working on revving that to your specs as you give us feedback. Bonus number 2 for devs, it's a pretty big one. SharePoint Embedded, that ability to bring the best of Azure and Microsoft 365 capabilities together so that you can, as a developer, build robust file and document-intensive applications. There's a lot of news, a lot of information about all of these great top-level features that shipped in 2024. Again, with a little bit of a biased ordering by yours truly, the Intrazone, aka SharePoint Dude, giving it to you straight. But that was a busy year. I hope that there is a lot that you can tap into and maybe still a gem or 2 that you hadn't yet heard of that you want to go check out. This past year, we did say goodbye to a few apps and noted a few that will be retiring soon. So with good change management intact, here is a refresher on 5 planned app and brand retirements. The first one, Delve, on December 16th, 2024. So already in the past, Delve was retired. Even if you see the Delve icon, clicking on it will take you to a people search experience based on your name. So to Delve itself, we say thanks for the good times and the foundational plumbing to a whole host of dynamic, relevant experiences that do live on. It gave us the Microsoft Graph and expressed what can be done and discovered with intelligence and relevance beyond standard search. Next app retirement is Viva Topics retirement. This is happening in February of 2025. Viva Topics will be retired on February 22nd, 2025, so just around the corner. With the generational shift in AI technology underway, Microsoft is now focusing its strategy and efforts on building new AI-powered knowledge management experiences into Microsoft 365 Copilot and other parts of Microsoft 365. Next, we announced Viva Goals will be retired on December 31st, 2025. So not for a little while, but there are no new feature developments after December 5th, 2024. So a few weeks ago, the team started halting on Viva Goals investments. Microsoft does remain fully committed to the Viva Suite, continuing to innovate and deliver tools to help our customers drive meaningful business impact. Next is a branding change. Microsoft Stream, all of its features and capabilities will fall under now the Clipchamp branding. It's the old Stream plus Clipchamp equals Clipchamp. That equation certainly will carry forward the best of both of the services. Stream as a back-end video service to stream and experience your videos throughout Microsoft 365, and Clipchamp giving you a way to create content. All the goodness that you can expect from video and Microsoft 365 carries forward under the Clipchamp branding. And last, a preemptive goodbye to Microsoft Search in Bing. The work experience available on Bing.com will be deprecated, such that the last day of availability is on March 31st, 2025. The core Microsoft search experience will remain accessible through Office.com, SharePoint, and Microsoft365.com. There's a nice FAQ, and there are further details that will be made available mid-January. Just go to aka.microsoft outlook.ms/MSBFAQ and expect that will be updated regularly. So with those 5 applications, we say goodbye, primarily through the interzone, good change management, so that you know some of the applications that are being retired, how they're being retired, how they're being rebranded. There will be a link to learn more about each of the 5 that I mentioned so that you can stay in front of everything that you need to do to make sure that you go through change management appropriately. There's a lot of good information. Hopefully none of these are a surprise. Just a reminder, if they are a surprise, certainly you now know so that you can plan accordingly. With that, let us get into related technology. Now, there is a new secure URL to get to your inbox, and I am certain an inbox not so zero awaits us all after the holiday season. What's your unread count is really going to be the question of the new year. But not to be so Scroogey about it, let's talk about how Microsoft Outlook has transitioned to the cloud.microsoft domain. We've talked about this broader transition a few times, and anything that amounts to more trust between you and Microsoft, well, I will always highlight it. The cloud.microsoft domain was provisioned in early 2023 to provide a unified, trusted, and dedicated DNS domain space to host Microsoft's first-party authenticated SaaS products and experiences. So far, apps like OneNote, Planner, Loop, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Viva Engage, and more have been onboarded to this new domain, and more coming onboarded as we continue to invest and make progress on cloud.microsoft. So, to get to Outlook on the web, you just type in Outlook.cloud.microsoft. That is Outlook.cloud.microsoft. It is a consistent way to access your Microsoft 365 apps and services, and now it's a great consistent way to access your email and calendar. There is a great product review list so you can see everything that's already been onboarded onto the cloud.microsoft domain, and if you want to learn a little bit more about what is cloud.microsoft, there's also a great Microsoft Learn article that I will link to. Now you can add external content links to Viva Learning tabs and feature sets. This means you can pull in external content from providers like YouTube, Vimeo, news articles, and Stream. Clipchamp can now be included in 2 new areas with Viva Learning: featured sets and learning tabs. Featured sets are curated sets of courses that you can choose to display prominently to the entire organization. Featured sets previously leveraged content solely from SharePoint, connected learning management systems, and third-party providers. And now, admins can include external URLs as part of these sets. Learning tabs allow users to find, curate, and share content in Teams channels and chats. The content available for learning tabs can include any content available to the organization, and now can include the option to insert links to external content providers. Using a link to add learning content brings new flexibility to the greatest learning aggregation app in the Viva suite, Viva Learning. There is, of course, a Learn More article so that you can learn how to set all this up, and you will get a little bit of an image of what it looks like if you go to the blog. Our last related item comes to us near the land down under. That is, Microsoft 365 data residency offerings now available in New Zealand. We are excited to announce that Microsoft 365 and Advanced Data Residency, ADR, are now available for commercial customers in our new cloud region in New Zealand. Multiple geo capabilities for New Zealand are now rolling out. With the availability of Microsoft 365, we now offer ADR, and again, soon multi-geo. These are add-ons to provide customers provisioned in New Zealand with greater control over the location of their cloud data. ADR provides guarantees that certain customer data will be stored at rest, in this case in New Zealand, for several core online services, including Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams, Microsoft 365 Copilot, Exchange Online Protection, Office for the Web, Viva Connections, and certain Purview products. Multi-geo, as it's completed, allows customers to configure in which geographies their Microsoft 365 user data is stored at rest on a per-user basis and within a single tenant. This applies to Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams, and Microsoft 365 Copilot are available for their multi-geo configuration. This is a continuation of a series of data center launches over the last 20 months, including recent launches in Poland, Italy, Mexico, Spain, and Taiwan. Through the development of the new region, public and private sector entities, large enterprises, and small and medium-sized businesses will be able to use scalable, highly available, and resilient public cloud services while also helping companies meet their data residency, security, and compliance needs. It is a giant effort at the core of everything Microsoft 365 and beyond in the Microsoft cloud is the data center. It's one of the earliest episodes that we produced for the Interzone where we got a look and provided insight into what goes into a data center. It was just a glimpse with a little specificity on what happens with SharePoint, but it's really great to see us offering what it is our customers are asking about in these different regions. So hello, New Zealand, and hello, data residency near down under. All right, let us move to the January 2025 teasers, which is Happy New Year again. Teaser number 1. Microsoft Viva Connections is coming to the SharePoint app bar. This means there's a new entry point to enhance the integration between your broader intranet, SharePoint, and Viva Connections, your primary home portal. Teaser number 2. A new pay-as-you-go billing model for SharePoint agents. And this is my favorite part. It will be referred to as PayG. That is right, just PayG. Capital P, capital G, getting back into our camelback riding. This allows organizations to use an Azure subscription to pay for the service based on the number of queries used. So go PayG, go. That is it with this month's Peek Ahead. We'll share more details and other updates within the SharePoint Roadmap Pitstop January 2025 edition next month. Now, while we're looking into 2025 and maybe a little bit beyond January, I thought I'd throw in a few predictions. I'm using air quotes because these are squarely based on the public roadmap, mostly to highlight a few things I'm excited about that are coming within Q1 of calendar year 2025, so between January and March. These are 5 fun ones that I feel encapsulate how Microsoft 365 will evolve for the better in 2025. So, prediction in quotes number 1, Clipchamp Copilot Video Creator. This is going to give you the ability to create a video draft on any topic by providing a prompt. Clipchamp will create a video using stock video and music with an AI-generated voiceover. So move over Greta Gerwig and Christopher Nolan. There are going to be several 100 million new directors coming to town, and action. All right, prediction in quotes number 2. Microsoft Loop is going to add a Loop workspace to your Teams channel. It's time. Some might be saying it's about time for your team to brainstorm, co-create, collect, and organize content together in real time where they want to within Teams. That is a Loop as a tab app in Teams. Boom. Mic drop. Oh, actually, I don't want to drop this mic. It cost me a little too much. Everyone in the team will get access to the Loop workspace, even as team membership changes. That is Loop governance. There it is. Loop, there it is. It's a great addition so that you can do what you want with Loops right within Teams. All right, prediction in quotes number 3. OneDrive, ask Copilot questions about images. You'll be able to select up to 5 images and ask questions like explaining the contents of the image or extracting relevant text from an image. It's a really great way to be able to derive knowledge, especially from things that aren't always written. But as we know, a photo is worth 1,000 words, and to Copilot, it loves more words. So select up to 5 images, that's up to 5,000 words, and off you go. All right, number 4, prediction in quotes, SharePoint Pages Authoring Accessibility Checker. It is our commitment, as it has been for quite some time, to ensure that our product and services are, on all levels, designed for everyone, including over 1 billion people with disabilities. And within SharePoint Pages, we want to help you create content that can be consumed more easily. Being accessible is as important as being clear, concise, and engaging in your communication. So create a page, run it through an accessibility checker to ensure that your page has great reach and accessibility to everyone. Item prediction number 5, in quotes, Microsoft Teams improved Microsoft lists, links in Teams chats and channels. That means links to Microsoft lists, list items, and list forms will display richer details such as title and path when shared in Teams chats and channels. Not just an ugly link, but you'll get a really nice preview that will be more meaningful as you bring in your information tracking app or pieces of the app like a list item into a chat. Might as well make it look nice. I think this has been a piece of feedback for quite some time. These all have roadmap items tied to them so that you can track them as they come in early 2025. But in summary, the future works to make you a better creator, a better communicator, and an awesome teammate. You can review these and more on the public Microsoft 365 roadmap anytime you like. I'll put the link in the show notes and the corresponding blog. Now, before we close out this episode and round out 2024 for good, we gathered audio from Jeff Teper talking about some of the new agents throughout Microsoft 365, plus his take on how he and the team are listening to feedback and tweaking how Microsoft builds AI into his broader portfolio of apps. That's OneDrive, that's SharePoint, that's Teams, and of course all the plumbing and apps that build off of the SharePoint platform. Here is Jeff from the ESPC stage in Stockholm, Sweden, during his opening keynote.
Probably the biggest piece of news of Ignite was, as I framed earlier, was our work on agents. These, again, are capabilities that can run on behalf of a team or a process or an individual that automate work. And we announced 5 of them at Ignite. The facilitator agent, which you'll see is no longer just recapping the meeting after the fact, but it's helping you be more effective as a team inside the meeting. One of my favorites, the project manager agent, that will help you not only organize the project, but track it and even get particular tasks that AI can help with done as part of that. An employee self-service agent, this is for common questions people have, sort of IT help desk, Q&A, benefits, and so forth. We're going to make that much more out of box with an agent. Want to have, of course, again, the S in ESPC, SharePoint democratized building websites. It's democratizing building agents. And then probably the biggest wow demo is real-time interpreting in your language in the voice of the speaker with the interpreter agent in Teams. But one of the things we try to pride ourselves on when we release a brand new product is we listen very carefully to feedback and frame our investments in what we hear from customers and partners around the world. And since we released Copilot last year, we heard 3 things. One is you wanted to make sure that we made improvements so that we improved every user's productivity. And you'll see a set of capabilities for that, like Copilot Actions and Copilot Pages. 2 is that ROI you saw, you wanted it to be faster, more business relevant, higher time, better time to value. And so you'll see a set of things around business processes with these agents that you can build with either SharePoint or more advanced agents with Copilot Studio. And last but not least is simplifying our story around IT controls and governance of the content, the applications, the copilots, the analytics of who's using what. Our story, we had a lot of pieces, and you want us to simplify that. Throughout Microsoft 365 and Teams and SharePoint in particular, this huge focus on performance and simplicity and flexibility and power, as well as the big game changer, which is AI, so that we can deliver a Copilot for every employee to help them be more productive and grow their skills, and an agent for every business process so that you can help transform your organization and get an even bigger return on investment on the money you spend on technology.
Thank you, Jeff. Great to hear and learn more about the broader push of AI and agents from the super agent himself, Jeff Teper. We've added learn more links per feature, plus a list of important resources in the show notes and in the corresponding blog post on the Microsoft Tech community published to the SharePoint community blog. I hope you've enjoyed this roadmap pit stop. It's time to pump your brakes at the end of the year so that you can relax knowing that you're all caught up this year and starting off next. If anything still leaves you scratching your head with open questions or concerns, please send us your thoughts and comments to theintrozone@microsoft.com. We're here to put our and your best change management foot forward, and we thank you for taking that step with us into the cloud month after month. This is Mark Cashman saying enjoy piloting your path in 2025 on the roadmap ahead.